When it comes to the battle between PlayStation and Xbox, and I know people say console wars aren't a real thing, well, that's just plain not true. The former has a bit of an advantage right now. I'm talking about PlayStation. The PS5 has been raging as a success, and while both consoles have been selling very well, Sony seems to have most people's attention when it comes to the future of their gaming brand. With tons of iconic IPs at their disposal, God of War, Last of Us, upcoming Spider-Man 2, the PlayStation 5 is a console to own in the year 2023, let's be real. But if you haven't gotten one just yet, because you're waiting on a potential enhanced version, you may actually be waiting less time than you would actually expect. Welcome to VGL, everybody. Chaos here today. It's all about the PS5 Pro. In the last day or two, a ton of new information about the long-rumored PS5 Pro has been released by some very trustworthy sources. So today, we go over it. Be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future updates, and let's just go. Some of our new information comes from Tom Henderson himself, who many of you probably know is one of the most trustworthy leakers in the gaming industry. Now, Henderson typically writes for Insider Gaming, but they also release tons of information on Twitter, and it seems their secret sources just fed them some new details about Sony's secret console project. Now, earlier in March, Henderson reported on a number of new Sony projects, including an enhanced PS5 model commonly referred to as the PS5 Pro, although that name isn't finalized yet, but let's be real, it probably will be. The upcoming handheld streaming device, codenamed the Q-Lite, a couple first-party PlayStation headsets, and the discless PS5, commonly referred to as the PS5 Slim, that is expected to launch later this year. Now, the general consensus was that Sony was planning on launching their new PS5 Slim later in 2023, after announcing it at their summer showcase. It's kind of similar to how the PS4 had the Slim model that largely replaced the original launch version, although the enhanced mode of the PS5 Pro likely won't launch until 2024. But Henderson just released a ton of new information on Insider Gaming that sheds some more light on what Sony has been up to. Now, according to the article, Henderson is 100% certain that Sony is working on a PS5 Pro, and Sony is planning on sending out dev kits for the new hardware to the first-party Sony studios within the next couple months. That seems to suggest a release in 2024. Now, Henderson also states he's expecting the PS5 Pro to launch in Q4 of next year, which would give first-party studios plenty of time to prepare for the PS5 Pro enhanced patches for their games, although third-party developers likely won't get their dev kits until the new console later in 2023, meaning the first batch of PS5 Pro enhanced games will likely be first-party Sony titles only, which I know that sounds like it sucks, but it makes sense. There's no official PS5 Pro announcements from Sony just yet, meaning all of this is subject to change, and obviously we don't know which games are going to get PS5 Pro updates first, but if I had to guess, I would say games like Spider-Man 2, God of War Ragnarok, they will be getting some kind of enhancement on the new hardware, likely involving their frame rates or their native resolutions. Now, the exact specs of the PS5 Pro are obviously unknown, so it's unclear just how much of the gameplay improvement we're going to get from the new hardware, but I'm guessing native 4K at 60 frames per second, that's going to be the priority probably for Sony's first-party games, and they're going to probably allow for 1440p at 120 frames per second. Sounds good, right? Given how the current set of consoles are struggling to run some of the recent AAA games at 60 frames per second, the enhanced consoles are likely going to try and really lock that performance in with zero exceptions. Now, I'd imagine it'd be pretty embarrassing for Sony if they launched the PS5 Pro in late 2024 and you still had games running at 30 FPS. So what do you guys think about the Pro? If you don't have a PS5 yet, are you going to pick up the console before the launch of the Pro, or are you just going to hold out until next year? And if you do have a PS5, are you going to upgrade? Be sure to let us know down in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any future updates, and I'll see you soon.